Hey everyone, it is Brian Kaz here, Sean Casey. We have another Wednesday marketing webinar for you, and this one will be basically on marketing plans for your businesses that you sent in. So we sent out an email probably like a couple days back or so, basically asking what your businesses or websites were, and we thought we'd basically pick a few of those to kind of give like a marketing plan. So not really like a website analysis, which we've done in the past a few times, but more of like, hey, this is how we would market your business as a whole. There might be a handful of SEO things in there, but most of it will be basically just like a marketing plan. So we did something similar to this probably like, I don't know, maybe 2 months back or so, and people seemed to really like it. So we thought we'd do another one here. And keep in mind, of course, if you didn't send in a business, or you missed the notice, or we don't get around to yours, we'll definitely save some for future calls and such, and have more opportunities as well. So yeah, we'll keep that all in mind. And as always, these calls are every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, where we'll do a live training and or a Q&A call. If you're here or you're registered for this series, you'll get a reminder each week so you don't forget. If you can't make one, we'll have the recordings in the members area within a day of any of the calls under the training tab on the left side navigation bar. So you would click on basically the training tab, and then you click on the Wednesday calls, and you'll see them all listed right there with the most recent ones at the very top. So this one you'll see either later today or by tomorrow at the latest right there. And of course, you can search through those as well. And if you want a chance to win $100 today, make sure to join our free Facebook group at getwebfire.com/FB group. That's free to join right there. That will just forward you to our Facebook group if you click join. If you're not a member yet, Sharon will approve of you within probably like a minute or two if you do so like right now. Then towards the end of this call, I will tell you guys what to do to get a chance to win $100, where we'll do the drawing live right then. So make sure to sign up for that now. Now we can move on to basically training for this week, where we'll basically be talking about how to better market your businesses that you sent in for us to review. And this is the overview of first we'll go over several of those businesses and how we start to basically market them, and then in some cases we might even talk a bit about how we might use some tools like Webfire and such to help with that. And then we'll end with a Q&A if there's any other questions or stuff like that. So we'll try to see how many we can get through within this hour, but if there's lots left over, of course we'll save some for a future call at some point. So with that, I'm just going to pause the screen for a second as I go on over to the demo part, or to the websites, I should say more so. All right. All right. So one of the first sites here, and there's a few sites here, I'll just pick kind of like a few at random right here. One of the first ones here was basically an exercise program called the KISS Fit Way. And the description and the site were a little bit different, but on the description, the person made it seem like it was basically exercises to help support basically back pain and to rehab off that. Whereas what I found a bit confusing was, I'm like, oh, so this is probably for like someone who has back pain and how to, get out of back pain. But then like the first thing on the site, or I should say the first bullet point, says how to basically lose inches. And it says amazing inches, when you'll probably want to be at first like a bit more specific as to what, like lose up to X amount of inches, or lose several inches, or something around those lines. Right there, but that makes it sound like more of like a weight loss or like a diet thing, whereas it sounded like you're trying to target people mostly that had back pain. So I'm not quite sure who exactly your target market is, but I'd make sure to be very careful with that at first. Like, is this clearly mostly for people with back pain? If so, gear a bit more towards that, especially on the intro right here, or on the headline. If your main target is basically back pain, there's no mention of back pain right here. If your main target is weight loss and as an added benefit, it helps with back pain and other stuff, make sure to mention that right here. And I would also add like a benefit right here too. Like you say, it's the effortless exercise program you can do in bed. That doesn't list a benefit other than it's effortless and you can do it in bed. Like, what's the end result of that? Like, you know, like, is it, you know, like you could say the effortless exercise program to lose weight and you know, help get rid of back pain and yada yada yada, that you can do easily in bed. Something like that is just basically adding half a line and can completely change around your pitch and make it much more easy. But in terms of how I market that, I'd first again make sure to make a handful of changes right there, pick what your target market actually is. You'd probably know best who you're trying to actually target. But right here, I see your main goal in this case appears to be trying to get leads. So there's a couple things that I would do first. For a marketing plan, I would first, if your main goal is to get the lead and you're trying to drive them into like a funnel, where I assume you have like a upsell offer, like additional things, make sure that it's crystal clear that you tell them what to do right here. Like right here, you say introducing. So to me, this seems like a sales page. Then I scroll down and you know, you say, hey, watch the video, but you're not really giving clear directions on what you want them to do. If you want to give away a freebie of some kind, make it crystal clear, make it incredibly obviously. Like if your main goal is to give stuff away and get those leads, say, hey, into your email below for a free report or for free tips on how you can exercise effortlessly, even in your own bed, to lose weight, get rid of back pain, you know, yada yada yada, and learn how you can easily do that in a matter of minutes, effortlessly and better. You know, some kind of thing like that. And then maybe if you want like a handful of bullet points, great, but have that opt-in right there. Like right now, you're making it kind of difficult to, you know, go to the opt-in. Like if you're giving away, like let's say I want to give you a candy bar, okay? Do I really need to give you a full sales page and a video, you know, on why you'll want to take this candy bar from me? No, I'll just say, hey, here's a candy bar. It's really good. It has chocolate and caramel in it. Want it? It's free. You know, you take it. I don't need to sell you on. And the longer that you take to sell them, you know, the more people you lose them. Then of course after that, you know, I hope that you have like a upsell page of some kind. If not, you definitely want to do that, where after they sign up for basically the free tips and stuff right there, you want to definitely make sure that you have some kind of like an offer, ideally like at least 2 different upsells, maybe one for the program itself, maybe one for like a trial and into like a membership of some kind or anything like that. So definitely make sure you have the bones of your offer right there. But then after that, your goal should be, in this case, how to drive, you know, as many prospects as possible to your opt-in page right here, if that's the goal that you're basically going for. So what you could do then is you could use several of the tools inside of Webfire, where you can find people asking questions on basically exercises to help with back pain, or because it looks like from the description you gave that a major focus of it was stuff to help basically with back pain and ways to lose weight easily, even if, you know, they're in back pain, or how to fix basically back pain. So, you know, there's lots of people in back pain. I mean, even on the Tweet Lead Finder tool that you know, we've on a handful of calls we've shown, you know, lots and lots of demos of. If you do a search for like back pain or back hurts or hurt my back using the Tweet Lead Finder, you'll find a minimum probably hundreds of leads a day, probably upwards of like 1,000 to 2,000 leads actually a day of people complaining about back pain. Okay, that would be, again, a perfect target for you right there. You'll find guys on Q&A sites, on forums and all that too, using the real-time lead finder and the rank lead Finder where they're asking questions like, hey, what are some good exercises to do in back pain, or people complaining about how they can't exercise because they're in back, or because their back hurts, but they want to lose weight anyway. You can start to answer those guys' questions and such. And the benefit there is not only do you help those prospects right there, but dozens, hundreds, even thousands of other people might happen across the same question or the same comment or the same post that another guy had that you answered. They'll see the answer that you gave, and you can, in like a nice way, basically drive them to your videos, to your articles, or even to your opt-in page here to get some free tips and stuff like that. You can also, on that note too, create like a bunch of videos that you can post on YouTube, as well as basically blog posts that you can do on a blog, even guest blog posts that you can try to do on other sites on like weight loss and stuff, and try to focus on the back pain part if that's what your main focus is, which from what you sent our support sounds like that's what it kind of was. I could be wrong on that, but that was my impression of it. And with that, like, you might have a video on YouTube where it's like, hey, three exercises you can easily do to lose weight, even if you have back pain, or three exercises to easily get rid of back pain while losing weight too. Like, basically target a bunch of terms like that. You can use the keyword tool inside of Webfire to play around with that. And yeah, that's just kind of a way to kind of expand out there as well. And even like the guest blog posts and stuff, you can use the guest blog post finder inside of Webfire to help you find all sorts of blogs out there that accept guest blog posts in the weight loss niche or in the back pain niche, or you could do a blog post there on basically how to do just that. But first, I'd make your message a little more clear if you're truly trying to focus more on like the back pain stuff. Focus a bit more on that in the headline and stuff, if that's your goal. If it's not your goal and it's just a side benefit, okay, but maybe make, again, the headline a little more obvious. And just to show what I mean right here, as far as like the potential leads out there, I'll just show you just for the back pain one. And weight loss wise, you'll get like tons and tons of leads too. But let's just do the back pain one. So this is the tweet lead finder tool right here. Just go under social, then tweet lead finder, then add in the keywords right here. Now there's a bunch of other keywords I could do. In this case, it's just people complain about basically back pain and stuff. And then you click save, and then you just go to leads. And look at all these. I mean, literally right here, my back hurts so bad. My back hurts like crazy. Here's people swearing because their back hurts so much. Yeah, so tons and tons and tons and tons of people and back pain. That could be a perfect kind of prospect for you. And then of course you see these are 100 leads. You just click at the very bottom, next 100 leads, and you'll get 100 more. You see these are all from today. Again, there's probably usually for a term like that, you're probably talking 1,000 to 2,000 leads a day. At a minimum, I'm guessing into hundreds of leads every day. That again, you can kind of build like a social list off that. If you follow them many times, they'll automatically follow you back, or even if not, you can still reply or message them. But make sure you do it in like a non-spamming way. Like, don't just say sign up for my free guide here or buy my free guide here. Say, hey, I saw that you were saying that you were in back pain. Here's a couple tips that I found really helped me, or really helped my clients, or really helped this, and have like, basically like an article or like a video that talks about that. And then from there, you can kind of drive them to your opt-in page, or drive them to your sales page, or wherever you want right there. And again, the same thing you could kind of do with the lead tools right here. You can go to the Q&A tool, or Rank Lead Finder, or Real-Time Lead Finder. Find lots of leads out there, people asking similar questions. And if you want to focus more on the weight loss side, just kind of change the keywords to be geared more towards that. And again, tons and tons of leads, and that's on top of all those leads that you can take the time to basically answer. Again, you can proactively write blog posts and make videos, and even use we have the video tool right here to help you make those and submit those. And once you get that across the web, you kind of make like a spider web. You can start to snatch up and grab leads. You can also, again, I said the guest blog tool as well, which is under right here. Just go to guest blogging under leads, and it gives you leads of all the blogs except guest blog posts relevant to your keyword or niche. So you can certainly do that as well right there. And another thing that I would consider too is that if you have social proof and stuff like that, I would also look into potentially trying to partner with maybe other people that have established products or basically offerings in their niche. Like you could go to, let's say, a guy that already has lots and lots of sales in, let's say, the weight loss niche, and you could basically say, hey, I see you have a really awesome product there. I know you made a lot of sales. You have lots of good info. I was wondering if you'd be interested in possibly like a white label deal where they would sell your guide as theirs, but your guide isn't really competing with them. I mean, yeah, they could both be about weight loss, but if yours has the focus of weight loss for people basically with back pain and stuff like that, it's kind of like a different sub niche of that. And making just one or two deals like that can drive a lot of sales. It takes a little extra work, but as long as you give them a major incentive to do a deal with you, like a big cut, you handle all the work and support and all that right there. If you reach out to even a few a week, if you have a legitimately good product, you can make some really awesome deals that can be worth a fortune to right there. And that, I think, can kind of maximize your efforts in terms of bringing the product to market and all that. So that's kind of like the basic overview I have right there. You can also, of course, do paid ads on Facebook and stuff like that. And you can try to target people in back pain or interested in weight loss, or even both. And you can from there have like a free guide or free tips and such, or even basically like a video or like an article on like 2 or 3 exercises that they can do to lose weight while also helping get rid of the back pain at the same time right there. That's the kind of thing that would have like a massive appeal, and you can kind of drive them to your opt-in page or drive them to your sales page after that. And you also want to make sure, of course, that instead of just selling the one-time product, I'd also look into how you could add like basically upsells and stuff in there as well. So Sean, is there anything else you want to add in on that one before I go to another one?
No, I think that's a very complete answer.
Alrighty. So the next one, let's see. All right, so here's one where it's basically they're like a coach or like a consultant on how to build a business and such, and they want to know what basically their business plan should be or would be right there. So one thing I see with this site is I'm like confused. So I see that you're about how to grow a business, but then it says ask our virtual coach. Well, ask them what? Like I don't know what you want me to ask them. The Ignite blueprint. I don't know what the Ignite blueprint is. Why would I randomly click a link that says that? The headline here implies that you help build and scale basically businesses and such, but after that, it's kind of confusing as to what you want me to do. You show some clients of yours and such. You have some books here, which are fine to have the books there, but it's kind of confusing, and you have some like random numbers here in terms of like your budget management and all that.
You did buy our book. I mean, just really quickly there, by the way. Just you ought to be like, hey, look at that awesome book.
Yep, very awesome book right there. which is all great to have that right there, and it's like you have lots of social proof and stuff, which I like the social proof. I really do. I like the books you have. I like the testimonials you have. I like the fact that you have like, hey, these are clients that we've helped and stuff like that. I like all that, but I just don't know what you want me to do. I don't know what your message is. So before you go to like the marketing plan side, I definitely make sure it's crystal clear. Like, have like an easy call to action. And if you're on the call, you know, I'll basically ask you, and Sean, feel free to look at the answer. You know, what do you want them to do? So I go to your page. What do you want me to do? And don't say, I want you to read up a bunch of stuff. I want you to do here. I want you to buy. What do you want me to do right now? What's the next step you want me to do? Okay. And then whatever that is, make sure that's crystal clear, and you have a button or a link right here that tells me what to do and what the benefit is. Like if it could be like, hey, you know, click here to see how you can grow your business by X amount of times, or click here to see how you can, whatever it might be. And whatever you want them to do, whether it be going to like a webinar, whether it be filling out a form, you know, anything like that, make sure it's crystal clear, because a lot of the stuff I don't know why or what I should ask a virtual coach. I don't know what the Ignite blueprint is. I'm, you know, if I go to this page, I'm probably interested in growing my business, but I don't know what you want me to do. And the more you make a person search around your site, and the more they don't know what you want them to do, the faster you lose them. So I have an easy call to action right there. So right off the bat, I would definitely fix up that. And then as far as like a marketing plan, once you have that fixed up, and you have to have that fixed up first, because it's hard to have a plan if you don't have an easy call to action or basically anything like that. But once you have that, you know, there's several things that you could do. I mean, one, again, you could use several of the lead tools and such that we have to find guys asking questions about like how to grow a business. You can also make, again, a handful of videos that you submit on YouTube, make some blog posts where you basically target terms that you can even use the keyword tool and such for, that will you know, help people grow their business. Like, hey, you know, here's how to increase your profit. Here's how you know, to increase your sales with, you know, X amount of simple steps. You can also, again, target Facebook ads to business owners and such, and say, hey, here's how you know, here's how to potentially double your profits with only a few easy tweaks to your business, and have like, you know, either like a webinar or like a video or even like an article where we're basically explaining that. This is also a really good example of or a really good niche, I should say, where case studies and stuff that you have are really useful. Like if you like, let's say you used any of these guys right here, I would really like to know, well, what have you done for Panasonic, and maybe give a case study of that. And you can advertise that, you know, on Facebook and stuff. You can do an article on it, you can do a video on it, like say, hey, you know, here's how we helped Panasonic grow, you know, X amount of revenue in their business with just a few easy tweaks, or here's how we helped, you know, this other place do that. Or even if let's say your goal is to target mom and pop shops, pick some mom and pop shops to say, hey, here's how we grew, you know, this small place here, and basically doubled or tripled their revenue, or doubled or tripled their profit with a few easy tweaks right there. That's the kind of thing that gets people interested, even more so than like, you know, hey, how to double your business. People love to read an example of how you did that for someone else. And the cool part there is it comes off as though you're not really selling them, even though you ultimately are and want them to join. But if they read, hey, here's how you basically doubled the sales of this place, everyone then thinks, oh, that's really cool. I like how they did that. You know, I wonder if they could do that for me. Oh, look, there's a little opt-in thing here, or there's a little form I can sign up right here to apply. And because they read, hey, here's what you did for this guy, they'll think, man, I want you to do that for me as well. And they'll be more likely to do that right there. So I love examples like that, and it's a way to kind of sell without selling, essentially. But definitely fix up you know, that site and have like a main call to action first. Sean, are there any kind of comments or anything you'd say there?
No, I just love having our book on there. That's all.
Yeah. Yes. So he is a co-author of our book right there. So that's really awesome right there. And again, great social proof, you know, right there as well. All right. So moving on to the next one. All right, here's one, anger management. And in this case, it's anger management from men over 40 who have kids but no relationship with their father. So right off the bat, one thing I would consider, I'm not saying I want you to change your model or anything like that. You're very specific. Like you're saying you have to be a guy, you have to have kids, you have to have an issue with your father, and you have to be over 40, and you have to have an anger issue. Now, obviously, it's an anger issue course, so you have to have anger. It's basically given. But the rest of that stuff, it sounds like you're trying to really narrow that down. Like if I'm 38 and if I have an anger issue and I have a kid and I don't talk to my father at all, would I not be a prospect of yours? Because I could see maybe saying, or let's say I have an anger issue, and let's say I don't have a relationship with my father, and let's say I'm over 40, and let's say that I just don't have kids, would I be a prospect? In the case of someone reading this, they'd say no, because right off the bat you're turning away like a lot of people. Now, if there's something unique to your course that means like they have to be all of those, great. But for some reason, I doubt you have to be over a certain age to basically qualify. So I definitely would consider that a bit, because you're really trying to, right here, it's a really narrow market. Now, that could be great if that narrow market is like huge and easy to tap into, but I'd caution a little bit with trying to be too narrow with that. I would also consider, and you might know this more than me, because this is your product, but who are your buyers? Are they the people that have the issues, or are they like a spouse? And with that, you might find that, hey, oftentimes it's a spouse that buys the product, and then you might want to think, well, gee, maybe the message right here, you're trying to gear it towards the person with the issue themselves, but it might be the spouses that buy. So in that case, you might find, hey, maybe you could tweak your message or have another kind of product out there that you have virtually the exact same product, you just kind of tweak it to maybe be geared more towards the spouse. So what they can do to help with their husband's anger issue or whatever it might be, right there. So that's just food for thought right there. And let's see, it looks like, yeah, so you have a pretty long sales page right here. And you say the low price is $24.95, but you don't say if that's in dollars or pounds or what. So I definitely have basically like a dollar sign or whatever you charge in right there. And I'd also have probably like either like a money back guarantee or something mentioned like right here below the buy now, and also have the price above basically the buy now too, to make it like super easy if they're just browsing through. And also right here you have a pros and cons list. I would change the wording of that a little bit, because like right here you say these are the, this is what it's like having this book versus not. So instead say maybe rename the pros list to the advantages of having this book, and change the cons list to what will happen if you don't have this book and continue with your life as it is. Because right there, if I see a pros and cons list, my immediate thought is, oh, these are pros and cons about your book. It doesn't quite make sense there. So just easy change of wording right there. And you have the money back guarantee there, which is great, but make sure to maybe mention that on the other buy now button right there, as well as the price and stuff there too, because if people scroll down halfway and buy there, that's one thing to think. Now, as far as the marketing plan goes, based on the page that you have here, it's kind of, it's harder to get an immediate sale without trying to warm that lead up. So you could get lucky if you have like affiliates or stuff like that, it could work, but I would probably have like an opt-in page first that maybe gives them some like free easy tips or exercises on how to get rid of their anger, how to have a better relationship with their father or with their kids or whatever it might be. that you're trying to basically target. And then if you go on, like, let's say you want to go the Facebook ad route, you could basically target like support groups and stuff. I'm sure there's several Facebook groups out there for anger issues or for father issues or whatever it might be. There's probably tons and tons and tons of those right there. You can basically target stuff like that. You can join some groups there, give some tips and stuff away. You can also create, again, a handful of videos and articles and stuff where you give a handful of tips and stuff away of what they can do right there. And again, you can also look for maybe there's other guys that are much more well known in the industry than you. Maybe not directly doing a product on anger issues for men over 40 or basically anything like that, but you could target guys out there, maybe approach them on like a white label type deal, the exact same thing right there, and again, just expand basically the content out there, give something away for free to capture those leads in, then sell them additional things too. And I would also say too, you really want to have something more than just a $25 book. It's very hard to make a lot of money off of just a $25 book. You want to make sure you have upsells in there, maybe like a membership program or even like a Facebook group or whatever you want like that. But definitely kind of do a similar approach to what the other ones were, which is again try to expand basically your web out there with useful content, answer questions out there. You can even search for like people asking questions on how to deal with anger or how to deal with anger in a spouse or stuff like that. But definitely look at your existing buyers if you have some and try to determine, hey, do these appear to be men or women? Do they appear to be a spouse or not? If you're not sure and you get a decent amount of buyers or even leads, if you do an opt-in page, you can give them even like a survey where you simply ask them maybe like 2 or 3 questions like, hey, did you buy this book for yourself or someone else? Are you married to that guy? Or just find out just a few little easy things like that, which might help you better target these guys right there. Sean, is there anything you want to add on those?
Yes, I do. So one of the most whatever profitable things you can do for conversion is to have sales pages that narrowly target an audience. So this page that you have here, as Brian pointed out, is really narrowly targeted. Now, if you knew that all the traffic you were driving were somehow men who fit this exact profile, then this is awesome, because people are going to be like, wow, this is me, right? Because that's always what you want a prospect to say. Hey, this sounds just like me. I'm over 40, I've got kids, but whatever, okay? But, if I'm 39 or 36, like Brian said, then, you're throwing me out right away, okay? So I think this is really good if that audience is specifically targeted, but if it's not, then you need a more general page. But one of the things is where you're driving traffic from different sources, but your product would serve all of them, and you're trying to target the message more specifically to that source. So let's say, you're advertising on Facebook to men who are over 40 and have kids, right? So this is perfect, right? But you're now ignoring like everybody who's between 15 and 40 years old who has kids, who potentially is also in your target audience. And if you were targeting people who were 30 to 40, then you'd want to have are you between 30 and 40 years old, and blah 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 blah, right? You just create a new beginning to the sales letter to target that specific audience. Okay, so there's some ways to also spin this specificity if you go that way. Okay, Brian?
Yep, that all sounds good right there. All right. Another one we have here. This is JC's right here, which is basically it's home decor, and I think I forgot the exact influence. I don't know if it was like a Swedish one or what, but basically it's geared towards like a minimalist type of thing right there. And they said that several of the products are basically dropship and some are their own. So it's basically like a mix in there. And a few thoughts I have is that first, of course, you're competing against some very well-known big sites there, not only like Amazon and stuff, but on the home decor site, probably one of the biggest sites that are just home decor. That's like places like Wayfair.com, Overstock.com, and places like that. So the competition is big, but there's a couple things that you can do. One, if you think that maybe you have some better deals than them, or some more unique stuff, you could even try to basically target your competitors and say, try to find guys basically doing a search for stuff there, have like a Google AdWords ads that goes to your site and stuff like that. But a thought that I had, because again, you kind of have like a tough hill to climb to start with. One thing that I thought would be really neat is that you obviously don't have the number of products and stuff that those guys do, and basically anything like that. So it's kind of hard to like compete in terms of that. But there's two options you could do. One, you could do like Facebook ads and stuff like that, where you take a handful of products that you think are really cool. So a lot of the products probably wouldn't work well. But if there's like a handful that you think would be really awesome, that look really neat, that make a house look cool, like for instance right here, if I saw that little mirror thing, I would think, hey, that's probably a fairly expensive thing. Turns out it's only $10.35, which I think is a bit weird that you charge the 35 cents. I just have it be like $9.97 or something like that. So I'm not sure why like some have like an odd price, like the 35 cents, or if that's just basically a typo. But either way, about $10, that looks super cheap to me and looks kind of cool. So what you could do is you could have either like videos or blog posts or even Facebook ads where you can basically target like, hey, 5 or 10 things you can do for super cheap that can make your house or your rooms look like super snazzy. So this is the kind of thing right here. If you show off like something like that, a lot of people might say, hey, that's kind of cool. It's like a modern look. It's like a cool mirror right there. And hey, they're only $10 right there. So people might think, hey, that might be more expensive, or but like that looks kind of neat right there. And you can say, hey, for less than $100, you can do this, or that. And that would only work with probably like the more cool or basically unique things. Like for instance, right there, like you have basically the butterflies, which appear to be like a 3D thing that sticks to a wall. So that's the kind of cool thing that you could show off, saying, hey, that can make a room come alive. It can make it pop, and it's very, very cheap to basically do. The other thing that you could do as well is like right now, there's a major popularity then for like home renovations and stuff like that. If you just flip on the TV, if you flip through like 5 channels, probably at least 1 or 2 of them will be like a home renovation show. There's like a ton of those on, so people are big into that. So you could do like the kind of thing. It would take a little bit of basically money on your part, or unless you can find drop shippers that essentially do this. But you could take like basically a picture of a room, or of like a corner of a room, or anything like that, and deck the stuff out with the products that you have. Like, hey, here's how to decorate a room like this for less than $200, or here's how to do this setup in your bedroom or your family room or at your fireplace for less than X amount of money right here, where you show a room with maybe multiple products in it, and you show them the link to actually buy each of the products that you show in the picture right there. So that's the kind of thing that people would share too. Like a lot of people that would be interested in those real estate shows or those home improvement shows, which you can easily target on Facebook and stuff like that, or on Instagram, and all those sites like that, or even on YouTube, and you can make blog posts. That's the kind of thing that people are likely to share, because they say, hey, man, that looks really, really neat. This might look really, really good. And like they'd share and say, hey, this might look really cool. for your new baby's room, or this might look really, really neat, on your wall or anything like that. So yeah, it would take a little work to basically do that, but if you kind of show off entire rooms with multiple products at once, or even a corner of a room. So I'm not saying you have to be like buying up everything and redecorating entire rooms, but even if you just show like a corner of a room or like a wall of a room and show a few different things that you have going on at once that look really neat, I think that would look really, really neat. Or if you don't want to do stuff to that extent, just have like basically like a video or like a slideshow or like an article on like 10 easy things that you can do for less than X amount of money to spruce up any room. Where like, one slide might be those butterflies, one slide might be the mirrors, another slide might be another thing. And that kind of gets people that are interested in, hey, they're interested in the home improvement. They click through because they want to get ideas for what they can do. And, they'll randomly say, hey, those butterflies look really neat. That look really good in the, the baby's room. And hey, that's a pretty good price right there. And I definitely think through that. But on top of that, when people buy those, you want to make sure to have upsells and stuff too. So now if you're selling it by like the entire room, you could have several products right there. If you sell it like, hey, here are the top 10, and they buy basically the butterflies, make sure to maybe have some additional offers that they might like as well to try to maximize the amount of money that you can get off of that right there. And if there's certain products that have like a very big margin of profit, try to pick like ones that either have a good margin or are top sellers and also have a good margin and such like that. And I think that will go kind of a long ways for you right there. And that's also the kind of thing too that you can also do guest blog posts on, or even like reach out to home decor blogs or magazines and stuff like that, and basically talk about, hey, top 10 things that you can do for less than $50 to renovate, your family room or your kitchen or your bedroom, and just make like a bunch of those, because that's the kind of thing. I mean, my guess is other people on this call that own a house, or even if they rent, if you say, hey, these are the top 10 things that you can do for less than $50 to change the look of your room or to improve the look of your kitchen or family room, a vast majority of them would probably click through and at least look at those. If there's something that stands out and looks really neat, there's a good chance that they could buy it. But definitely when you show those slides off, or when you show those images, make it super easy to buy from you. Like make it like say, hey, the butterfly shown here, you can buy right here for only $14.95 or whatever it might be, like that. So that's just a couple things that I do off the top of my head right there. Sean, is there anything you want to add really quick on that?
Yeah, the only thing I want to add is that you also need to realize that people search for exactly the kind of stuff that Brian just talked about, right? Best ideas for decorating my bedroom for $200. Best ideas for decorating a bachelor apartment for $500. People search all that kind of stuff. If you start playing around with Google search, you'll find all kinds of stuff that'll pop up as suggested searches like that, and you can see what people are already searching. And those people are all looking to buy, because the only reason you say best way to do something, or great ideas for decorating an apartment in the city, right? Those people are only looking to do one thing: spend money now. They're perfect prospects for you. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, that's, again, as Sean said there, on top of all that stuff, again, you'll want to make sure that all of these pages are optimized for those keywords and their title tags, and such like that too. But lots of opportunities right there. And let's see, we probably have time for maybe one more site, and then we'll go to the Q&A and the giveaway. And there's a few that we haven't had time to, but we can do some more on a future call. So here's one on basically a stutter-free device, and I'm confused initially. So I like the idea, I like the niche and all that, but I'm like super confused what your product and what your offer is. This page looks incredibly messy. You have like links like all over the place, so it's like this is probably like what a kid with ADD would probably think. Like when he sees the site, it's like, whoa, this is all over this stuff here. He wants me to click here. And I don't like, you have basically a video that's like super tiny, I'm not sure if it pops up or what there, but that's like, looks really small. You have like, this appears to be like a video, but it's not, it's just basically a graphic. So I would probably eliminate this entire thing right here. And you say that basically this is like a stutter-free / 3.0. Like, I don't know, that just looks messy. Like, it looks like, oh, is that like a typo? Did he mean to have the characters in there? It looks like very messy, and people be turned off immediately. I would eliminate this entire top part. Like, just cut it and have a headline, and maybe like basically like a video. And I also don't know, is this like an actual device? Is it like a training thing? Is it like something that goes on them? Like, you know, it doesn't really specify that. And I'd maybe, if it's like a video or like an image, have that right here. And then maybe have basically a handful of bullet points, like these are basically the benefits, or here's how it works. You have an opt-in right here, but it's like super small, and it says, you know, basically enter your name and your email to receive a discount price list and more. So what is a discount price list? Is it like a bunch of stuff you sell and it's at like a discount? And you're asking for like names and stuff, including like, you know, last names. You know, why do I need to give you my name to get a discount? Like, any kind of step, any extra info that you're basically asking reduces the amount of leads that you'll get. So my guess is you don't care what the person's name is. You don't care if you have that. You care if they buy, and you care if you get that lead, right? So if that's what you basically care most about, make that super easy. You just have an email, and have a call to action. Have it stand out. Have it be like, hey, you know, enter your, you know, name and email for, you know, X amount off of this, or to get, you know, whatever it might be. And again, like, it's confusing. Like right now, my guess is, you know, I like the message that you have. I like the offer. I like the niche, but I don't know what it is. I don't know what your offer is. And if no one knows what your offer is, you lose them right there. Now, you might say, hey, well, they can click here and watch this, and they can read all this, and they'll eventually find out what that is. No one takes the time to do that. If you can't tell them clearly in one line or two what it is you have, what it looks like, what it does, what the benefits are, then you basically lost them. But the good news is it's super easy to do that. Again, I just basically eliminate most of the stuff right here, and just make it crystal clear what that is right there, and have an easy call to action. Like right here, I don't see a way to basically buy. I see there's like, I can basically enter my email to get like a discount. I can enter my email to join a newsletter, but it's like, why would I want to join that? Like, you don't give a benefit, you don't give a reason. So it's like, it's like if I walked up to you and said, hey, give me $10, you'd probably be like, why? And I'd be like, well, I don't know, I just want $10. Would you give me $10? Probably not. If I say, hey, you know, give me $10 because I'll give you this amazing thing that you want back, you know, you're probably more likely to do that. And even though, you know, an email address isn't quite like $10 in the eyes of a lot of people, again, they don't just give that stuff out. You also have like basically a picture of a little device right here, super small image. So it looks like a device, looks almost like a pin with something. It's kind of like almost kind of scary what that might be. So either explain it, have a larger and easier to view picture, but again, I don't know what it is. But the good news is, again, if you fix up that, I like the overall picture, I like the idea, but what you can basically do is you can join, yeah, I'm sure there's like lots of people asking questions, whether it's on Facebook groups or using several of the lead tools. We have, you know, the real-time lead finder, we have the rank lead finder, the Q&A tool, tweet lead finder, all those right there. You can find lots of people asking questions on that, and you can basically do the exact same thing that we showed off with some of the other sites, and you can easily answer them, say, hey, here's a few tips that can work really well. Here's also a device that can work really well. It can basically train them on this or that. I don't quite know what this does, but again, super easy to easily find and basically target those guys. You can also do like guest blog posts, and you can find places that specialize in that right there. If you sell, like, let's say you sell an actual device of some kind, what you could do, you can find every person that sells a report or guide or some kind of other product related to your niche right there and say, hey, I sell this right here. Here's how this works, yada yada. I was wondering if you'd be interested in possibly having this as like basically an upsell on yours, or if you'd be interested in marketing this to your clients and stuff like that, because it would line up with the kind of offer that they have. Now, you may or may not want to do like a white label deal. I don't think that'd be like a major deal, but you certainly could. If you are okay with that, I probably would be on that. And that's the kind of thing that you can, help drive some extra sales and stuff that way. Sean, are there any thoughts that you have right there? Because I do think the page definitely needs to be fixed up. And once that's fixed up, it's much easier to have like a marketing plan to drive the traffic specifically for people looking to solve that. But right now, I just don't see like an easy message on it.
Right. There's more content than sales message here in terms of this, and even if someone was just to find the page, you really got to figure out what again somebody wants to do, or sorry, what you want someone to do to get here. As Brian's talked about on every single one of these sites, when people hit it, you want to lead them right down. Go here, do this, etc. It's you have what appears to be an awesome product and great information about it, but you just got to turn this into something that will sell, and then getting targeted traffic for something like this is very straightforward.
Yeah.
Using any of the methods we've talked about.
Yep. So I think like once you have basically the page fixed, the rest of it becomes very easy at that point. Right there, because it's a solution to basically a common problem, and one that if you can solve that well, it'd be easy to have basically videos that show the stuff off. Like I think that'd be like awesome, basically like a social proof, show off like essentially a person that uses your thing and how it fixes that, or have like an article on it. And that's the kind of thing that you can advertise or post out there online that can drive a lot of traffic. So with that, guys, we'll kind of save some more for later right there, because we're closing in on the hour. I'm going to pull up or go back to the slides, and we'll give some cash away. All right, and of course, if you guys have any other questions and such right now, you can feel free to ask those. I know Sean and Sharon have been answering some in the chat, but if there's any other ones that you have, feel free to ask those. And of course, to partake in the cash giveaway, you can join our free Facebook group at getwebfire.com/FB group. You'll forward to our Facebook page, if you haven't joined that free group, just click join right now, and you'll be approved probably within like a minute. Then you'll see basically a post at the very top from Sharon. You'll see today's date, probably like an hour ago, basically asking what you thought of today's call. If you leave basically a comment within that post, so make sure you click basically comment and leave it within the post right there. Makes it super easy to count. We'll pick a random winner where we'll actually do basically drawing live in just a few minutes right here, where you'll see it live, so you see it's completely random, and we'll give $100 away on the spot today that we will PayPal over almost instantly to the winner. So you can leave any kind of comment, again, what you thought of the call, maybe a suggestion for basically a future call, or whatever you want. Feel free to leave a comment right there. And of course, we always appreciate likes and shares and all that too. But if you leave a comment, again, we'll pick a random winner in just a couple minutes. And with that, Sean, were there any kind of questions or anything that you saw that guys had?
Hey, well, Wanima said, super valuable. Thank you so much for the review of the JC site. She was loving that, so that's awesome. And I think I got everything else answered, because most of them were really specific questions that didn't apply to everybody, that I don't want to bother to read out. Just going back through, just double checking. Yeah, so we did get everything done. And I'll answer Catherine here in a second.
All right, and this is the Facebook page right here. And you'll scroll down, you'll see this post from Sharon right here, looks like a half hour ago, basically asking what you thought of today's call. You can leave a comment right there. See, there's already a bunch of them. Make sure you try to leave it right there. Just click basically the comment right there. And we'll give you maybe 10 more seconds to do so. And it'll pick a random winner in 10 seconds or so. So, and again, Sean, if any more questions pop up, you can feel free to.
Yeah, there is one I want to answer. Somebody asked, would these pages be considered landing pages? Well, so a landing page is generically any page that people would land on, but usually it's what someone means when they're going to drive traffic, whether it's you're going out and generating it from posting articles and blog content, or you're buying traffic, where you're directing someone so they land. Okay, so like if I'm running an ad that says, get free information on how this radical new device can stop your stuttering, right? Click here. When somebody clicks here, they land on a page. Now, when they land on that page, that's when we definitely want to lead them through the process of what we want them to do. A lot of pages, are more content pages, like the one about the stutter-free device, because really that's all about the content of this is what the device is about, and here are things that they can do, and maybe that page is optimized to rank. But in terms of actually converting traffic, it's not nearly as optimized as it could or should be to convert people. And then real quick, John White Brian had a question. Any tips on attracting insurance agents who need other insurance products? Okay.
Insurance agents who need other insurance products. What do you mean by that?
Well, I'm assuming that John means they sell life insurance, but maybe they want to get into other branches of insurance.
Oh, sure. So in that case right there, assuming you sell that stuff to them, there's actually a few things you could do. One, you could look for keywords using the keyword tools inside of Webfire related to those, where it probably wouldn't be terribly large in terms of, like, obviously there's a lot more people looking for insurance versus like insurance agents looking to add stuff, but you get to look for the keywords of what people might search for if they're looking to add that stuff in, and then have blog posts that have those keywords in their titles, maybe have some YouTube videos and stuff up, and then also like you could have basically like a video or like a blog post on how insurance agents can add X, Y, and Z insurance offers to their offering, or whatever it might be right there, and basically target it like that. So it's probably a smaller market, but those are probably worth a lot more and worth your time basically doing it. I mean, there's probably dozens and dozens and dozens of terms that you could target like that. Now, I'm not saying you have to do all those at once, but even if you just do like 1 or 2 a week, that can add up to a lot over time right there. You could also search using the lead tools and such for keywords that an insurance agent might possibly search for, or type in like a forum, because there's probably insurance agent specific like forums and message boards out there where you can find leads like that. You can even set up basically alerts, so every day Webfire can basically check those and alert you to new leads there. You can also probably join relevant Facebook groups of only other agents, where there's probably guys asking essentially questions if there's any good providers of this or that or such like that. And that'd be a great way where if you basically check that like once a day or even like a couple times a week or so, you can probably find some really good leads right there. You could post up basically like an article or like a video on how they can add those themselves, or even you can have like an article or like a video on the top 3 most profitable insurance plans that insurance agents can sell. Like anything like that, it's disguised as like very useful content, which people in that kind of group would really like. But at the same time, if you just read what the top 3 are, what do you think the next step you'll do is? If you realize that, hey, you don't have 1 or 2 of those, you'll probably want to find out how you can add that. And if you follow it up with a way where they can add that, again, makes that super easy to kind of reach out to those guys right there. You can also target them on Facebook and such. You can see what ones have basically joined or liked, maybe like kind of like not insurance agents, but like or not people that have liked an insurance agent, but people that have liked, like, let's say, an organization that is only insurance agents. You know that most likely they're that. You can look for search under jobs and stuff for people that are, and insurance agent, just a bunch of stuff like that, where you can kind of pinpoint and have an exact offer and have like an ad saying, hey, these are the top 5 most profitable insurance offerings you can have. Learn what those are, and easily sign up. And any kind of easy message like that would probably be worth your time, especially if there's a decent amount of profit there. So that's what I would do. I mean, Sean, do you have any extra tips right there? And
no, I think that plenty to keep them busy for an entire week.
All righty. So with that, guys, let's give some cash away. So I'll give you guys 5 seconds here. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to refresh that. Sometimes it picks up a couple more. All right. All right, so we have a bunch there. I'm going to, let's say the total is. All right. Could swore that it used to say the total amount of comments right there, but I don't see it now, so I do have to count by hand. That is weird.
Yeah, that happened to me last week. I think they have fixed Facebook.
Yeah, that's more complicated.
Mark went to see Congress, and they helped him fix things.
All right, so this makes it easy. I refreshed it, and there's 36 more plus these 2, so there'd be 38 there. All right, 38 with Elvin. I'll give this guy like maybe another second or 2, so 38 with Elvin at last. And there's a few others I'll count outside. All right. All right, so 1 posted outside, so 1, or no, yeah, 1 post outside, so 1 plus 38, 39. Whoever is writing right now, I'll give you literally 2 seconds to wrap that up. Oh, right there, good job. So 40.
Right, I see a couple people posted twice, so.
All right, so Irina is 40. Whoever's writing right now, okay.
Right, there's Peter's third post.
Yeah, all right.
This is not a contest to see if you can win, all of this, because we're going to have to stop doing this if everybody's going to be trying to cheat it.
All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, there's 42. Jesse, okay. Okay, so she's the last one. It's officially cut right now. So 42. So what do you think the winner will be, Sean? 1 to 42. 7. All right, that makes it easy if it is.
Well, I want your life to be easy, Brian.
19. All right.
I was close. I was close.
All right. What I'd say it was?
19.
19, yeah. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. All right. Pranay Mistry. I apologize if I said your name wrong, but if this looks like you and you live in London and you have 600.
Good looking guy, too.
You have 615 friends. Congratulations on all those friends, but also congratulations on being $100 richer, or you will be as soon as you post up your PayPal email in the chat box. So just write that, and Sharon will PayPal you the $100 shortly this afternoon. So again, congratulations to Pranay Mystery, and again, not sure if I'm saying that right, but again, you are this week's Wednesday Marketing webinar winner. So again, thanks to the rest of you for saying all those great posts and comments and such. And again, as always, every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern time, we'll do another call. If you have any suggestions on any kind of topics or anything that you want essentially covered, let us know. and we'll try to make sure to cover those on basically future calls. So with that, if you have any other questions, you can always write us at support@webfire.com. So again, it's just support@webfire.com, and we'll be happy to answer any questions there as well. So with that, guys, I hope you have a great rest of the week and look forward to seeing you next week. So with that, guys, take care, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.